We are the Dorksmen, and we're here to make you laugh and stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 57 of the Four Dorksmen podcast. I'm Nate, a.k.a. Angry Nate.
I'm Vengeance.
I'm Collector Clint.
I'm Asian Tony Stark.
And as the people that are watching live on Twitch, as you can see, we have a very special guest with us this week, the Pretzel King, the shoe connoisseur, soon to be dad. We've got Cam here with us today. Thank you, Cam, for joining us again.
Thanks for having me back.
The cam on cam was strictly coincidental, by the way.
It's perfect. It worked out. It worked out perfectly. So before we get too far into it, let's just quick housekeeping things. As you guys can see today, this is very different. We are recording live via Twitch. So if you're hanging out in the chat and stuff, what's up? Thanks for hanging out. We'll probably not be interacting too much with the chat just because we're recording live. But make sure you guys are following us on Twitter and Instagram at _Dorksman. Make sure you're playing bingo. You can play bingo live this week if you're in the chat with us. Dorksmanbingo.com. So feel free to play along live or when you're listening to this on the playback on Monday. Dorksmanbingo.com. Shout out to Andrew for making the cards for us, and of course Larry from the STS guys for doing the redirect and all that fun stuff for us. So we're really appreciative of those guys. So let's just jump right into it. Let's just jump into the Ask Dorksman questions today. Our first question is actually from Michael Newland, who is the brother of Andrew. They have a podcast themselves called The Toy Rewind. They're a few episodes in. Mm-hmm. Make sure you guys check them out.
Shout out to The Toy Rewind.
Yes.
Oh, there's the ding.
There's the bell.
There's the bell.
Oh, I got a missed bingo reference.
What does that mean?
That means it's a bingo. You got a bingo square.
Oh, okay.
Every time you hear that bell, it's someone hit a bingo square that we know of.
Right. We missed a lot, I'm sure.
We missed.
Yeah.
Anyway, please go on to the question from Michael.
So Michael's question, very on brand for them. What toy line from your childhood did you have the most fun playing with?
I usually go first, so I'll go ahead and go.
All right.
I gave this some thought because there are so many toy lines from my childhood that I just remember just playing all the time, whether it was Transformers or Ninja Turtles or Legos or whatever. But the one thing I can remember playing with and just using to play with other toys, you know how you'd always do that. You take one toy line and, they'd fight each other. But it was always G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe was always fighting somebody, whether G.I. Joe was fighting Transformers or G.I. Joe was fighting the Ninja Turtles or Star Wars, whoever. G.I. Joe was just, they were versatile. They were able to fight anybody. So that's the one I'd probably go with is G.I. Joe, because I played with them so bad. Look, I don't know if you remember, but the original G.I. Joes, I don't know if they still make them like this, had the rubber bands inside the legs. Do y'all remember that? Yeah. And so I remember several times having to replace rubber bands. So that should tell you how many times I played with them and how rough it got sometimes. So.
That's awesome.
Rough with the toys.
What I find funny about that is G.I. Joe is probably the smallest out of all the other toys you mentioned. So they're always picking on people that are bigger than them.
I think that line would have been, like 3 3/4 inches or something, maybe?
Something. Yeah. I mean, it's not like a huge difference, but, enough to notice. Interesting. I'll take next. And part of the reason I'm going to tell you this is I want to tell a quick funny story about it. Believe it or not, I was really into Motu when I was younger. It hasn't carried over with me like so many others. It has, but I had a ton of different, we just called it He-Man. I wasn't cool enough to call him Motu back then. But the reason I want to tell the story, and I've told this on Geek Together, and the reason I remember this is I had so many that they all got tired from fighting each other because, they're big, rich guys and they got exhausted. So when I was younger, I talked my mom into buying me the pink Barbie hot tub so they could all relax and enjoy a little relaxation.
That's incredible.
I'm not even kidding. I remember the hot tub very well. I had the little push bubbles and gay bubbles, and I just remember He-Man sitting there, and I was a big fan of the mosquito guy was sitting in there, and I had Battle Damage Skeletor. I'll just sitting there after a day, like, "Whew, you really gave it to me today, He-Man." But yes, so
really gave it to him, didn't he?
Yeah.
Choice words,
he
pal.
crossed on his chest. It was beat up. So anyway.
One hell of a crossover with Hot Tub Time Machine right there.
Right, you were talking about crossovers. I went gender specific toy crossover. But I did have a lot, and I'm really bummed there. And my mom claims she didn't get rid of them, but I can't find them. But I did have quite a collection of He-Man. So that is my answer to that question.
That's awesome. How about you, Ryan?
Me next, I would say either TMNT, because I mean, I don't even remember what episode this was now. In the first 15, I showed my Usagi Yojimbo with the ears snapped off. So obviously I was very rough with those. And my Hot Wheels. I loved, this is very off-brand for me, I'm sorry, but I had a Batmobile that I just loved to play with. And you know those things, they're like almost indestructible, but the paint on it was like almost non-existent after all the rough times I had with it. So it was between those two, definitely.
Got yourself a proto?
Yeah, basically. No, I'd say that would be more like a scrapper because I stripped the paint off of it.
Dang.
Got it from China.
Yeah.
Right?
They're all
Got the
from China.
scrapper Hot Wheels.
Nate?
How about you, Cam?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, Nate, go ahead.
No, go ahead. We'll let you answer first.
All right, we're having a nice off.
Yes. You won't beat the Canadian. You won't beat the Canadian.
Sorry. You don't have a chance.
Oh my God, what have I done? No, I remember Hot Wheels, Legos, like all that stuff. But the thing that sticks out to me were those Power Rangers figures where like the head would flip out of the body. I don't know if you guys remember those, but like be like no helmet, suddenly helmet. And I remember having a couple of those. But like in hindsight, it's kind of a weird, like there were a lot of features when it came to Power Rangers, but with that specifically, it seemed like such a weird thing even at the time to be like, I guess. But yeah, Legos for sure. I think my parents still have like a huge like, storage tub of Legos for, when this kid is old enough. Or when I'm bored, I guess. But and like Thomas the Tank Engine trains. I don't know if they're like die cast, but they're like sharp.
Yeah, and they're heavy. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like, yeah, it was like 30 years ago, basically. So no rules, but those are what stick out to me.
They don't make toys like they used to, right? Like those die-cast toys had some heft to them, right? Like if you fell on one or you threw one the wrong way, like it would just make dents and stuff everywhere.
They also had some lead paint to them, so maybe not making them like they used to might be a good thing.
Yeah, no kidding.
The lead paint explains a lot.
For a lot of us.
For a lot of us, it explains a lot. Yeah, for me, it would be definitely G.I. Joes, just because you can mix and match. They like Joey said, they fight anybody. Any other toy you have. You had like toy dinosaurs. G.I. Joes would fight dinosaurs. If you had cars, like you had Transformers, they'd fight Transformers like they did in the comics and stuff, right? So it would G.I. Joes were the most kind of versatile one for me. And those old school G.I. Joes, and my cousins used to, like Joey's saying with the rubber bands, you could you could switch them up. So we'd put Duke on like the female body and be like, oh, this is hilarious. Like, you're like just a kid, right? So you don't even know what you're doing. And it's
that's
just
awesome.
Like, yeah. So we did a lot of stupid things like that. So yeah, for definitely G.I. Joe for me is one of those toys that stick out and remind me just had the most fun playing with. I have lots of memories of those. So Michael, of course.
It definitely had the most epic action figure playset that I think only 3% of the population could afford, the USS Flag battleship.
Oh yeah.
I did not have one. I assure you that. I think took up like half a bedroom. If you got, you might as well turn it into twin size bed, like double up. Like, I'm going to sleep on this during the day and then play with it some other time.
At that point, just enlist.
Just want the real thing, right? Aircraft carrier. Yeah.
Just as a child.
You guys got to go back and listen to Geek Together about Ming Chen and his story about the USS Flag. It's pretty good.
I remember seeing on Comic Book Man, he bought one, right? And he had it on the show. Yeah. So yeah, there's definitely go back and listen to that episode.
I'll tell you right now, he doesn't have it anymore.
Oh, really?
That's your tease.
Alert.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. There's a toy store out, well, kind of close to me, but it's like a half-hour, 45-minute drive away, called Toy Traders, and they have a giant mural on the wall. Like their store is massive; it's like a warehouse size, and they have across the top and all around the store is they've got like kind of like a homage to all the toys, and they have like these giant GI Joe Battlegrounds, they have like 3 USS flags.
Oh wow!
Like on the wall, and all the vehicles and all the tanks and all the airplanes. They got everything, and they're all like glued or nailed up there. So I mean, they'll never sell them, but it's just really cool. I'll take some pictures next time out there. I think I've talked about this before, but it's been a while since I've been out there because pandemic and all. So
yeah,
good for
next
you.
time I'm out there. Yeah. So Michael, thank you for the question. We'd love to hear what toy line from your childhood you had the most fun playing with. I'm sure you'll probably answer this on one of your upcoming podcasts, because I'm sure you guys will be talking about your favorite toys, as you guys will. Next question comes from Benjamin Sager. Ben asks, if you could pick one comic book movie character to be recast, who would it be and why?
I'll go
on first again.
Yeah, if you want to, like, oh yeah.
Yes, I would recast the voice modulator from Bane in The Dark Knight Rises.
Really?
That's what I would recast.
Don't you like how he talks like this?
Who would you have in place?
I just want to change the voice, but no. I thought about the character too. I just don't think Tom Hardy. I think for all of us, especially that are used to Bane from the animated series and how bulked up the guy was, I mean, that should have been The Rock's role right there. The Rock should have been Bane, no doubt.
He wasn't the boulder then, though. He was a lot smaller, even though he's still huge. But he wasn't, he was still the size he's like than, now.
He was still bigger than Hardy, though.
Absolutely agree. Yeah. And he would have been great at the role.
What if you'd gotten the Mountain?
Ooh, there you go.
From Game of Thrones, the World's Strongest Man. Yeah. That would have been pretty epic to have him as Bane.
You just wanted somebody bigger and bulkier and not with like the ridiculous voice. Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
No, I still need a new voice simulator too. Modulator
I love Tom Hardy as an actor, but I agree with that.
Yeah. I love Tom Hardy too. I at the time I remember thinking it was a pretty good villain. It was a pretty good movie, and then like as time went on, I was just like, man, comparatively, I mean, even how do you feel about him even against like what was the Batman? The first villain was the Scarecrow.
And Ra's al Ghul.
Ra's al Ghul. Well, how did you? Is Bane the worst of the whole trilogy in your mind? Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
I like how you don't even ask about Heath Ledger's Joker. Which is
it's like why even bring that into the conversation?
Right.
It's like that kind of screwed them up too, I think, because he was so good.
Yeah. Good point. My answer is very similar. Now I don't have a replacement, but I'm really hoping that when Marvel actually gets into the X-Men again, that they recast Wolverine appropriately. And it's not that Hugh Jackman was bad, because he wasn't. He was a great Wolverine. But if you ever even like looked at the trading cards or read the comic book or whatever, Wolverine's a short dude. He's 5'3", and it's always
he's shorter than me.
He's like
pretty short.
So you got to find basically like a 300-pound bulky short dude to play him in the future, in my opinion.
So just get him to call.
Yes, Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito, start working now, buddy.
I need Boss Logic on Twitter to go ahead and make Danny DeVito into the Wolverine. So somebody tweet at him.
He actually did.
Did he really?
He's done it before.
Oh my god!
For sure, he's done it. I'm gonna take it. I'll Google it. Google it. I'm gonna
Google
it.
He'd have to have a different name, even if he was Wolverine. He'd have to be like Critter or something.
He could be Logan DeVito.
The nuisance.
Oh my God. Logan DeVito. Wow.
But anyway, that'd be my answer. No knock to Hugh Jackman. It's just they have this chance to redo it. And again, in the comic book, he was not tall. Do it right.
Is it my turn now, Nate?
Your guy needs to be recast eventually.
Oh, you quiet down with that. That's not going to
happen. He does. He does.
They're not going to recast him. They're not going to bring him back. If they bring him back in the MCU, it's going to be from an alternate timeline. It'll still be RDJ. But I'm still hoping that they do this because it's not fully confirmed for Fantastic Four yet. But I'd love to see them do John Krasinski.
I've seen that
Mr.
rumor.
Fantastic.
As Mr. Fantastic.
It's rumored. I think he's like perfect for the role. And yeah, I'll just keep it short and simple. I'm going to stay on brand with my Marvel. So
there you go.
Okay.
That works.
The question.
What you can?
Well, it was tough because I was like, well, let's start by looking through all the comic book movies that have, come to mind, and casting agents are just so good at that. That like
They are.
I was looking at, even like the whole MCU and even in the DC movies, I feel like for the most part they're pretty strong. So I'm going to kind of take a left turn into like maybe a technicality for the Avatar: The Last Airbender movie. I feel like they should recast and and give them a shot at like actually doing it right with the creators on board and with a new director who kind of understands the material, maybe in a different way. I don't know. I haven't seen the M. Night version, but I don't feel like it's kind of even worth exploring. Maybe it is. I don't know. Have you guys seen it?
I've seen it, and it's not very good.
Yeah,
it's not very good.
That's the only review I ever hear. Is it's just not even worth watching, which is so sad because the show is so good. I just finished Legend of Korra today too, and it's been a really good series.
That's
wow.
Awesome.
All right.
For me, I think I'd have to just go purely for jokes, and it would be like with all the Batman hype, like I would recast Batman with like Nick Cage just to see just how insane it would be. Like, and I'm talking like during the peak crazy Nick Cage, like when he was, kind of losing his mind. So I guess recently, like recent Nick Cage.
You mean earlier today?
Yeah. Just I think like either him or like like Gary Busey or just someone just so insane. Because Gary Busey's like batshit crazy as the Batman.
Batshit crazy. What are you talking about?
Was that a pun?
What's that?
I guess it is.
Yeah. So it'd be
amazing. You just want
crazy?
Like an unhinged actor. You want somebody who's going to do whatever.
Yeah.
What's crazy is Nicolas Cage was almost Superman.
Right.
Like the screen test and everything, the costume fittings done with him, and it just fell apart. I don't remember the reason it fell apart, but I mean, could you imagine him as Superman? Because I can't.
That'd be hilarious. It would be amazing.
We were just talking today about how that role, but to more of an extent, Batman is such a difficult role to cast because not only are Batman and Bruce Wayne so different characters, but both of those parts of that one character have been portrayed differently over time in both comics and TV shows and now several iterations of reboots of the movies, that it's difficult to find somebody that can pull off for what the masses believe both Batman should be like and what Bruce Wayne. I argued Michael Keaton was probably the closest to being able to pull off both of them accurately. And still, I don't give him like an A on both of them, but he's probably the closest to being both.
While you're saying that, I'm thinking I saw this today. Somebody put this up. It was Adam West, and he's on the phone with the commissioner and the chief of police at the same time. But he says the commissioner was Batman, the police chief was Bruce Wayne. So he's like switching both phones and talking to him and putting the phones together and acting like he's both of them at the same time. And it's just like, oh my God, it's so bad. It's good.
I remember one time he put like the phone like reverse, like it was like he was.
That's exactly what they did. Yep. And he talked to himself. Is this Bruce Wayne? Like that. Yes, this is Bruce Wayne. Yeah. Can you meet me here? Yes. Do I need to bring the money immediately? I can do that. I mean, he really was doing that. It's ridiculous.
It's so insane.
I love it. But anyway, that just made me think of that, and of course, Robert Pattinson's new Batman role. We'll see.
Yeah. What do you guys think about the trailer?
I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'm definitely invested now.
I didn't get a chance to watch it, so
I'm not too sure about some of the images I've seen of him playing Bruce Wayne, which is kind of what made me bring that up.
Right.
But his Batman looks pretty good. I like the look and the style of the movie so far.
A good smoky eye.
Yeah. Well, I heard emo Batman. It went.
Yes, but that's not in every scene. He doesn't look like that in each scene.
No,
so I'm wondering.
But when he takes off the mask, if you guys haven't seen a new trailer,
he's such an underrated actor. I feel like he gets pigenholed as the Twilight guy. Unfortunately,
Right. It's just talking about that earlier.
Because same with like a bunch of actors from those movies. I think it's just tough to start out on something that kind of monolithic and then just try to fight your way back. And he's like, I'm 35 now or whatever, you know what it's like? Yeah. He's like, he's not in high school or even 20 or whatever. So, I totally agree. I feel like that trailer, it was the part where he just like beats the crap out of that guy. It was like, I haven't seen Batman do that. It's usually like a punch or he throws you somewhere or whatever, but man, he didn't let up. That was weird.
No. That was like like Michael Keaton beat up like that. We haven't seen anyone get beat up like that since like the 90s, right?
Well, Ben Affleck was really over the top Batman. You know, they made him like the 99% the way to murder Batman. You know, I'm just going to hold back that last 1%. You're going to probably be in a coma for a month or two type of Batman. But
Nate, that's a good point. I don't think I've seen somebody get beat up to Nirvana since the 90s either.
Perfect. But like it's interesting about like you're saying about Robert Pattinson, and we're completely off topic here, but he's in a new movie with Tom Holland on Netflix, The Devil All the Time. He plays like this crazy preacher guy, and just in the trailer, he's incredible. Like he's convincing. He's in Tenet, which I really, really want to see, but I'm not going to because pandemic. So he's gonna have a big couple of years here with Batman coming up as well, and if that goes well, he'll be locked into Batman for at least a couple movies, I imagine.
I wish him the best. I want him to do well because I like Batman movies. So let's see more.
You know? It can be that simple.
Right. It doesn't have to be critiqued, and he's not a moody vampire anymore. We get it. So let's
It could still be. Hey, if they want to
he's a moody bat instead.
Yeah. Well, it's the evolution. Twilight.
Get him on what we do in the
crossover. Yeah.
Oh man, that show. Love that show.
Oh, so good. Thank you, Ben. That question always we love. That could be like a whole episode by itself, which we might actually have to do. But we're very curious about what you think, Ben. Who you would recast and why, and who would you recast it with? Because that'd be a lot of fun to hear. So jumping into why we're all gathered here today, we're here to talk about. We're here to celebrate one of the best movies of all time. It's this 10-year anniversary of Scott Pilgrim. If you haven't seen it, please do yourself a favor and watch it. It is honestly one of the funnest movies I've ever seen. I watched it again recently this week, and there's so many things I missed in previous viewings.
It's on Netflix right now.
Good. It is on Netflix right now.
You can watch it. Yep.
So of course we had to have Cam on to talk about this because he is like #1 super fan of Scott Pilgrim, and we love it. So yeah, what do you think 10 years later, Cam? I know you probably watched it recently.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm surprised that it's been 10 years, and in some ways that feels like it's been like too short and too long. But I remember like the first time I saw that movie, I remember kind of walking out of the theater and being like, that kind of hit on, I was 20. So I like hit on like music and video games and like community. And like, it was just like really kind of a moving thing, but I had never seen, like I'd seen movies with obviously with like live music or concerts or bands or whatever, but the way that music exists in that movie kind of stuck with me, and the way that it actually transforms each person both separately and as a unit into these super powerful things was really kind of a moving idea. But more than that, I mean, rewatching it, we'll talk about all this too. But like my biggest takeaway was like, it was actually seen as maybe not a total failure, but it did not really make a ton of money for what it was. And it had there were so many reasons for it to not work, whether it was a comic book movie adaptation alone is usually typically a hard thing to do. Especially if it's source material that wasn't Superman or Batman or an X-Men or something like that. Right. Huge cast, lots of story to tell. I read the 3-volume re-released color version of the actual print story last year, and there's more in there, but like you could watch each independently. They kind of stand on their own. Which I think is a testament to Edgar Wright and everyone involved. But it shouldn't be as good as it is. And that's one of the things I like about it. It's kind of an underdog even now. But I mean, over the past few years, been thinking about it a lot more and rewatching it. It's kind of fallen into my constant rotation of movies where I know it, I can just turn it on and be happy with it. So, yeah, I mean, obviously I love the movie, but I'd love to hear what you guys think about it too.
Well, to me, it's crazy because I rewatched it a couple of weeks ago with my son, and then I rewatched it again today just in preparation of, recording today. And it's crazy how they're easily able to blend so many different type of genres into it, because it's a comic adaptation. It's definitely got homage to video games in it. That's pretty obvious. Big. I would even make the argument, even though it's not singing, to me it still has kind of that musical connotation to it because the music, like Camp said, played such a big part in it. It's a comedy. It's a romance. It's got all those different elements, and they blend so well. And like Camp said, it didn't really, just destroy the box office records, when it first came out, but it's become one of those cult classic movies, that I think has grown their following ever since. And it's just, like he was saying, just a testament to the writers and the actors and what they were able to pull off and put together. And man, are there some big names in that movie, like Cam said, right?
My God. Yeah, it's nuts.
Especially now, like even then they were decent sized, but I mean, hell, now they're so big. I mean, Chris Evans and Brie Larson, Anna Kendrick's in there, even Aubrey Plaza. Brandon Roth.
Thomas Jane was the vegan police. I didn't realize that until this week's rewatch. I was like, holy shit, that's Thomas Jane. Like, that's you got Punisher, you got Captain America, Captain Marvel, you've got Superman, Brandon Roth was Superman. Like, it's crazy. That cast is amazing.
But I will say, I think Michael Cera was the best choice as Scott Pilgrim. He filled the role so well.
Literally Scott Pilgrim, which is insane.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised he could be in anything else. He's going to be typecast forever, Scott Pilgrim. He did so well in that role. You look at it now, and he nailed it. He nailed it. It's hard to believe he's the same guy who's high on cocaine and falls in the hole, and This Is Us. You know what I mean? He was so good now. Yeah, and he's Mr. Manager. So
that's right. That's right.
But yes, the casting was fantastic for sure.
I'm interested to hear Ryan's take because he watched it for the very first time this weekend.
Yeah. So let me apologize in advance, Cam. This is one of the movies that I've never seen, and I deeply regret it right now because I just watched it this morning after they told me that you were going to be on with us. I've been busy. Work was kind of just like a madhouse on Friday. I had things to do yesterday. So first thing I woke up, took my dog out, fed him, popped down in front of the TV. I watched it start to finish, and 2 minutes in, I was already grinning because Legend of Zelda started playing in the background. I'm like, this is going to be a kick-ass movie. This is going to be so great. And much to contrary belief about me, I love rock music, even though it doesn't really show off the top of my face here. So everything about it, just like Joey hit on the head, it has multiple different angles. It talks about romance, drama. It gives a good amount of rock music, nostalgia with Super NES. And I love the Super game or Super Nintendo and video game feel to it, where he beats one of the bosses or enemies, and then you level up and you get points.
Yeah.
And he has like self-awakening, if you will, at the very end of the movie, where he comes to realization about himself. It's like it hits the feels. It was a very good film.
Bill Hader's the voice. I don't know if you guys knew that. He's the narrator.
Sure.
I did not know
not
that.
know that. But now that you said it, I can hear it.
I think we could spend a lifetime excavating that list of people who are in that. It's hundreds of people, it feels like.
Right.
I mean, we haven't even mentioned Jason Schwartzman.
No,
right?
Or and I can't remember who, the Huntress now. I can't think of
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Yes.
Well, I mean, but to your point, Ryan, like the thing with this movie is it's so easy. If you didn't actually watch it when it came out, or you don't have people who are like, oh, you should watch it, you might miss it forever, which is like so weird for a movie that has the cast that it does. Because like one thing, and this is kind of a tangent, but what I loved about Knives Out is how they kind of took this all-star cast and kind of used these actors and actresses who are known for certain things. Like Bond is in there. There's, you got Jamie Lee Curtis. Like there's specific things, and then they're not that at all in the movie. Like they kind of make you fight the urge to go, Captain America lied? He's actually in that? You know what I mean? Like, so, but they kind
I'm thinking,
they kind of reverse engineer that, and they could have never planned to do it, but it's fun to look at it now and go like, oh yeah, this guy who's like a total jerk on set is actually Captain America, and is actually like his whole public persona as being this like really nice, kind person who's all about, sharing positivity. And so I just, it's kind of an inexplicable thing. I don't think they could have ever planned for it or reproduced that in any way, but it's so fun to watch and go like, oh yeah, there's Captain Marvel, singing metric songs. And, oh, she's dating Superman now. Okay,
who's an asshole?
Crossover movie,
who's also an asshole? Yeah.
Totally. I will say, since I watched the movie a number of times, I'll tell you guys about my my first showing at the movie theater in a bit. But I always catch something new when I see it. At least one thing. There's so many little intricate details, and we were texting about it when I was watching it. And Nate's like, "Oh yeah, make sure you're watching out for all the numbers, which exit is when it pops up." Never caught the 4 when they first go into the club, and they never caught the 2 X's on. I'm trying to think of the character's name. I'm sorry, but on the belt of the second Evil X, Lucas Lee. But I never, those little things. Even I was telling these guys, I watched it on Netflix. So I was on my computer, had my headphones in, heard music, and heard sound effects I hadn't heard before. So there's all kinds of fun little stuff in there that you might not even catch your first, second, or third showing. So we're seeing again for sure. If you haven't seen it, right? So Ryan, go back and watch it. Basically,
watch it again, Ryan.
I'll watch it again. I can foresee this movie being one of those I'll enjoy watching over and over and over again. Kind of like one of the greatest Christmas movies of all time, right, Joey? Iron Man 3.
Oh God!
Man,
you had
you were pumping me up. I thought you were going to say like Home Alone or Elf or something, and then you hit
Christmas
me with
Story
the
or something.
Iron Man.
Hey man, I got to make it weird. It's part of my responsibility here.
There you go, Ryan.
There you go. Watching this movie, like ever since we had Banner, so Banner's almost 6, and every time we've tried to watch this movie up until recently, when they ring the doorbell, Banner goes crazy. Like he'll be sleeping in the other room, but all of a sudden he'll get up, he'll start barking at the door. So we're like, you know what, I gotta watch it again, and I want to watch it on the big TV, and I want to watch it and enjoy it. So if he barks, it'll be fine. He slept through the whole thing. So shout out to Dennis for being that quiet. But yeah, it's just like I'm very curious because I never read the graphic novel. So how does it compare to the movie? Question. Like, because I'm curious about that.
Yeah. I mean, first, one of the things that I really appreciated about it is that the author, Brian Lee O'Malley, kind of not only for every music sequence did he write out the lyrics and like the feel of the song, but sometimes he would actually write the music, like draw the music out, so you could actually play along with it if you were inclined to. So it was like kind of this weird little like taste of reading music, or if you wanted to play Garbage Truck or whatever, you could just do that, which I like. I appreciated more because like I think that it would be fun to draw this and write it or whatever, but he's like, no, I'm actually going to infuse it with like my passion for music and hopefully share it in that way too. So there's a lot more like little details, kind of like Clint, what you were saying, like little sound effects or noises or like thoughts or even one word every now and again. But like with any, I think, novel to movie interpretation, there's going to be some story left out. So you get a little bit more of like early Scott before he meets Knives. You get a little bit of like, or you actually get a lot after the movie, after he and Ramona are together. You learn more about their relationships between the characters. And it's just like, if you liked the movie and you like reading graphic novels, there's no reason to not just jump in. It goes by quicker than I want it to. But like that, I think that's a good sign that it's just kind of a fun read, but it's more of the same of all the same things that we're talking about, really fun characters, really, this like kind of lively and at times like grimy, like music scene.
Totally. There was totally some raw moments in there. I agree with that completely.
And I also feel like what's so great is even though Sex Bomb sucks, like they admit that they suck. They're like, we sound awful. They still look cool. Like their songs are still powerful. Like Scott can still hold his own against, Todd if they're having like a bass off or whatever. But that's kind of the fun thing about it. Like they don't have to be the best to be powerful at something. And I think that's like a big lesson to take away from something really fun. But it's also like, if you're watching this it's such a good, like underrated, maybe not a perfect family movie, but it's kind of a family movie,
There's no swearing.
Except for maybe the teen part, but like right. But even then, it's not that, I don't know. I guess what I'm getting at is it's kind of a fun story for anybody.
Mm-hmm. It's more than just like there's deeper themes to it, and then you just kind of look past the kind of the comedy and all that. There's a lot of like Ryan was saying, like the coming of age of Scott and his self-realization that he's just he's better than what he thinks he is, and he gets that self-confidence.
Yeah,
he realizes he's got to fight for him. Right?
Fight for what you believe in. Fight for what you want.
And Scott sucks. I mean, he's not a good dude.
No, he's a terrible person.
He's actually not a good guy at all.
Yeah.
Which is kind of my thinking. Like, as I was talking to some friends who just saw it recently too, and they were like, I didn't like Scott at all. And I don't think you're supposed to. I think you're supposed to appreciate the journey. I think you're supposed to maybe identify with some triangulate yourself with a few different characters. Like, I don't watch that movie and go like, I'm one person. I'm like, I love when Julie is there, or I like when, Stacy Pilgrim is yelling at Scott. Like, I like different things, but I'm not like, oh yes, Wallace Wells specifically speaks to me only. So I think that would be scary because all those characters are also kind of bad too. It's
nobody's
kind of an honest look.
Right.
I do love Wallace. Wallace might be my favorite character. Yeah, because I would.
Have you guys
steals
watched,
the boyfriend? Like, it's just amazing.
You guys watched
other Scott? What was that, Scott? Or Cameron? I'm sorry. What was that, Scott?
Have you guys seen Succession?
No,
I have not.
Oh my god. What is it, that actor's name in real life?
Something. Kieran Culkin?
Yeah. Kieran Culkin is in it, and the whole movie is about this the show is all about this media conglomerate run by this guy named, and he has these kids who are trying to weasel their way into family fortune. It's this dysfunctional family, and he's one of the sons, which is this perfect weird lineage back to the Wallace Wells character. You never see a parent in the movie. You don't know why he's the one with nice things. It's
right.
It's such a weird thing. And the other thing is I can't think of another movie that has the same kind of atmosphere or feeling that anything can happen specifically in that way. There are definitely music movies that are similar, and there are action movies and comic book movies and stuff that tie in certain ways, but it's just so weird. It's I have so many questions.
Yeah. Did they ever, and you was reading the novel, did they ever explain that Scott's parents still live across the street from where he's living now? Because he's like, this is the house I grew up in. Is anybody actually living there?
If they do, it's one line or something. They're it'll be a little bubble that's his parents still live there, but you'll never know that.
Right.
Brian Lee O'Malley is so good. He continues world building without actually showing you the world.
Mm-hmm. Totally. So that drove me nuts during the movie, though. I gotta admit, I'm like, so do they still live there? Who are they? But anyway,
I never actually thought about that. Where it's there's really no parents, or there's no parental guide. There's no adult in this movie. It's all just this peer group, right? I would say,
The only indication that there are parents are Knives' parents, and the fact that Scott has a sibling. Otherwise, nobody ever talks about it.
Well, and I like the aspect of there not being any adults to be the
moral compass,
the wise, I'm going to tell you what to do, and here's what you've got to do to right yourself. And it's just him just basically learning from experience. And that, comes into play with the whole video game thing. He got the one up earlier, when he was battling the twins, so that, when he makes that mistake and dies, he's got a chance to right that wrong, not from, necessarily what somebody told him he did wrong, but from what he, learned through experience that he did wrong, basically, and had to go back and fix. So I do like that. I had never thought about that part of it. There were no adults in there to kind of act as guides along his journey. He just kind of has to figure it out on his own through trial and error.
I guess Gideon is technically an adult. He's an adult. There's some adults. There's the guy at the party who knows everyone. He's kind of an adult.
Como, I think's his name or something.
Yeah, and even that guy, he's the T-Mobile guy or whatever. No, he's not. What else is he? What else is he really? Okay, good.
I think he looks like he's got the same glasses.
Yeah, he's been in other things.
He's in some cell phone commercial.
He's a New Girl. Isn't he a New Girl?
Yes, I believe he's not a main actor, but a secondary character.
I'm going to take his word for it. Yes,
do that. You'll be the first. But what I loved, this is one of those things I caught when Scott enters the club where Gideon is the first time, that character is there, and he goes, "Oh yeah, the first album was better than the second one."
Yep.
But then he comes back, and when Scott comes back the second time, he goes, "Oh yeah, the comic book's better than the movie."
Yeah.
I love that line. I never got that.
I never realized that.
Does he say their first album is better than their first album? Is that?
He says something like that. I'm not sure exactly. What he said. It's different.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's man. Did you guys have a favorite like of the fictional music groups and performances? Did you have a favorite?
Not really. I'll get back to you on that the second time or third time I watch it.
Yeah.
So let me give you a shout out here, Cameron. I already did that, but anyway, he did his Ration Radios last Sunday, and there was a lot of cool music. You guys should go back and listen to it if you haven't. It was really good, and it really exemplified the music that's in this. But of course, Mimic, you mentioned them earlier, was in that. I actually really like that song. When I first heard that when you were playing it, I was like, okay, I know this. Okay, I like this. You know, that's probably the one that stuck out the most. The other one, surprisingly, is Garbage Truck, of course, or Launchpad McQuack. But the one I'm thinking of now is and I don't know what the name of the song is, but the one they play when they're playing the Twins. I kind of like that. I was like, okay, I do like that song. I have no idea what it's called, but I did like that one. Again, we'll call it, since it's random, we'll call it Mega Man or something.
It might as well be called that.
Yeah.
I know they said they sucked, but I liked Sex Bomb. Like I liked whenever they performed in the movie.
I even liked. I'm not kidding when I said I like Garbage Truck. I was like, all right,
yeah.
This is good for an opening band.
I would have thought Ryan would have said the Katayanagi twins. Yeah, I may have mispronounced that, but I thought I thought with his DJ roots he would have said them for sure.
I thought you were going to say because I'm Japanese too or something.
No, I didn't say that. I said the DJ thing.
They weren't really DJs though, you know. They were just like pushing one note on a keyboard. I'm like, yeah, that's not really DJing. Maybe in today's day and age, but 10 years ago, that wasn't the jazz.
Right.
No, that definitely wasn't. Yeah.
Well, and they danced together.
That's right. You know, does that not count for anything?
Right. I mean, that's choreographed.
Clint does it like that. No. See, the difference
I didn't say I was good at it.
People can actually see what you're doing for a change. So
that's why I did it. I wouldn't have done it if nobody was on here. I'm trying to make it entertaining.
I did also, like, that was another thing that kind of stuck with me from the movie, was seeing that all the bands weren't the same configuration of like 3 white dudes, essentially. Like even Crash and the Boys has it's not just boys, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like the girl on drums.
The girl, one of the boys?
Yeah.
I think all the bands had a girl drummer, didn't they? Like any of the bands that performed?
Yeah,
I don't think Mimic did they?
No, I don't.
They had a long-haired guy, I think.
Oh, maybe I don't know. I can't.
Yeah.
Let me think about that. But the possibility of it is like a 50-50 in my mind, which is kind of a nice thing, because it could have so easy 10 years ago, especially, like it could have so easily been just dude dominated, just all making sad indie rock. You know what I mean? But it's like even like Clash at Demon Head is like has its own sound. It's not just rock. It's like it's bigger. It's anthemic. It's like pop radio, but it's also fitting of the scene. It's really cool how they did that. Again, another thing that could have been a huge pitfall. Like they could have made these really dumb bands.
Yeah, and they didn't. You're right. You're absolutely right. I appreciated the music this time more than I did before, for sure. No question.
I wonder what the official soundtrack sounds like. I got to look that up. I don't know why I haven't, but it would be amazing if they got together and recorded all these songs as real songs, because that like I would absolutely listen to it.
Dude, well, it's there. I mean, it's on most streaming platforms, and there's 2 soundtracks, I think. So like one is the cinematic soundtrack, so it's you know, not music from the bands in the movie. The other one is all like music that either was like Metric was covered by Clash at Demon Head. Like that's not their own song they made for the movie. But Beck and another musical advisor made all of the Sex Bomb music and recorded it. And he actually recorded they asked him to record some of the music based on like the comics, and he made like 32 tracks in like 32 hours, but they're each they're each like a minute long, and it's just like, Beck, you freak, make 32 songs in a day and a half. And he's like, okay, I was going to do it anyway. And so and that's what's kind of fun is like most of the songs I think were from the book, but maybe one or two are newer that he was just like, this is kind of like a weird spiritual cousin of the other songs. So, and they even have like a couple of 8-bit covers of the Sex Bomb songs too,
nice.
I think. So
that'd be sweet.
Yeah, it's a really fun thing I'll listen to it like after watching the movie just as I'm like driving around or whatever. It's just kind of a fun thing that they would even do that. The next step would be like a tour.
That'd be amazing. Yeah.
Speaking of 8-bit, real quick, I know we're trying to wrap up, but there was a Scott Pilgrim video game. Have you guys ever played that?
I have not.
So from what I understand, it was pretty cool, but for some reason, I don't know if it's the music or something else, they completely like got rid of it. It was a download, and you couldn't download it anymore, and that was the end of it. Yeah, it looked exactly like the graphic novel the characters did, so it'd be cool to see it. And I'd play it, but I don't know the story behind it. Maybe someone else does, but I'd like to play it. Like I said, if there's a movie that lends itself to a video game, this is it. You know what I mean?
It's a video game inspired movie.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway,
it's because it's like a side scroller or something, I think.
Yes, exactly. It reminds me of like the Ninja Turtle arcade game. It's in my head. Yeah,
perfect.
I'd like to see it. Bring it back. All right, you go look that up.
I will look it up.
Yeah, you
on my own free time when we're not.
Share it with us because I'd love to know more too because it sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So. But I know, you know, we gotta wrap things up a little bit. It sounds like we could talk about Scott Pilgrim for freaking ever because it was really good and it's only gotten better. So go watch it if you haven't. It's on Netflix now. I don't know for how long. I don't know if it's gonna come back or come on. You could probably find the movie for like $8 in a discount bin. I think that's where I got mine. You know, my copy of it. So it's not like it's hard to get. But go watch it. You won't regret it. You have 5 people here that agree with you. Some that have seen it multiple times and some that have seen it only once.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. And I want to go read the graphic novel because it sounds like they released they released some new stuff, right? Not new stuff, but remastered or redone kind of thing.
They released the whole thing in color for the first time, I think last year. And you could you can get that at like Powell's online or at Amazon or whatever is easiest for you. And I think recently I've seen it on sale. So you know, we're not going. I don't think we're going anywhere anytime soon. It's a good thing to read, especially in the summer. I feel like it's a good read.
Sadness.
Well, yes. Now that you made me sad, maybe Joey can bring my spirits up.
It's true.
Joey, it's your turn. Joey, go. Joey, do it. Joey,
do it.
It's game time. So we didn't get to explain the rules beforehand, so hopefully it's not too complicated this week. So we're playing a episode of Whose Line Is It Anyway? This is where I'm going to give you a quote. Now, I didn't want to do just Scott Pilgrim, so I decided to do Edgar Wright movies.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So you've got Scott Pilgrim, you've got Hot Fuzz, you've got
that whole trilogy. Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah. So you've got Shaun of the Dead, The World's End, and you've also got Baby Driver as well, which I had forgotten was a Edgar Wright movie before I started doing this.
Which does not seem to fit in there, but okay.
Yeah.
Talk about a movie you want to recast.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So anyway, so I'm going to give you a quote from an Edgar Wright movie. This will be a buzz-in game. So Cam, do you have access to the private chat on StreamYard there?
Yes, I see it.
Okay. So what you'll want to do is ahead of time, you'll want to go ahead and type your name in. And then when you know the answer, hit enter. That way everybody's kind of got the same buzz-in speed, if that makes sense.
Perfect.
You'll have to name in order the movie, the character that said it, and then the actor that played it. Okay. Now,
screwed.
Now, look, you don't have to do all 3, so you can earn points progressively. So you get 10 points for the movie, 10 points for the character, 10 points for the actor. You only lose points if you buzz in and you don't know an answer. So if you buzz in and you only know the movie the quote came from, that's fine. So you get those 10 points. You don't know the character. You can't name it. That's fine. but whoever buzzed in second originally gets a chance to steal. And if they know the character, they get 10 points, and then they can try to name the actor. If they don't know the actor, again, they still keep 10 points, and then somebody can buzz in and steal the third part, which is the actor, if they know it. Okay. Does that make sense? You only lose points if you buzz in at any of the 3 stages without the correct answer. That's the only way to lose the points. So you can steal the leftover points, if that makes sense, if they don't make it all the way through 3. Now, we're going to do 15 quotes altogether. There is no final round since we're a little pressed on time. And everybody just get ready to buzz in. Any questions?
Nope.
Okay. Here's your first quote. Safety first, Sean.
Oh, shit.
Clint. Clint.
Well, it's from Shaun of the Dead, obviously.
Okay, so that's 10 points.
But I know the character. I can see it, but I don't know his name. Oh, well.
Okay. Now, Cam, you don't have to try to steal right here so you don't lose points. But if you know the character's name, since you were the second to buzz in, you can name the character if you can. If not, you can just pass.
I think I'm going to pass.
Okay.
I feel like I know the actor's name, but not the character.
Yeah.
If that's weird. You know?
Yeah. No, that happens sometimes. Either of the other two of you want to buzz in real quick to try to steal?
I haven't seen any of the other 3 movies, so I'm screwed. Because I'm dealing with a super fan here as far as Scotty P goes. So I foresee me having Ryan points. So I'll just say that.
So the character's name is Philip, which is Sean's stepdad, played by Bill Nye. Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Of course, Bill Nye's in that movie.
Okay. Next one.
Philip.
Next quote.
Yeah.
You ain't seen Bad Boys 2? Cam.
That is from Hot Fuzz.
Correct.
Ooh, good job.
And the character's name is Danny.
Correct.
And it's played by Nick Frost.
Nick Frost is correct. Very good. So Cam's got 30 points off of that one.
Nice job, the game's over now. It's pretty and we're done. All right. And we're done. Congratulations, Cam.
Nick
Frost could have been game, man. Next one. Didn't you get my email explaining this situation? Clint.
That's Scott Pilgrim, obviously.
Okay.
It's the first Evil X, Matthew Patel.
Good.
I don't remember the actor's name.
Okay, so you're going to pass. Cam, do you want to take that option to steal? This is an actor.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass this one.
I doubt anybody's going to know. I think he's mainly a Bollywood actor. The name, I may be messing it up, Satya Baba is the actor's name that plays Matthew Patel.
I would have felt racist saying that, so I'm glad I didn't even try, you know.
Alrighty.
So just to make sure I understand, did I get 20 points from that round?
You did get 20 points. That's correct.
Okay.
All right. Next up. Hey, you know Pac-Man? Clint.
Scott Pilgrim. Michael Cera.
Good. Okay.
So that was my only goal for this game. That was my only goal for this game, was to beat Cameron in on beating on a Scott Pilgrim question. That was it. I won. It doesn't even matter.
The winner, Clint.
All right, next one. 5 guys, 12 pubs, 50 pints. Cam?
Yeah.
It's The World's End.
Correct.
And I want to say, ooh, you know what? I'm going to stop there because I don't feel confident in my next step.
It could be any one of them. Like
it literally,
it could be any one of them that said it. Yeah.
First of all, the math's wrong. Somebody corrects him on his math because that would actually be 60 pints. But does anybody know the character's name that says it wants to buzz in?
Oh my God. I can't remember any of the characters' names from that movie. I feel so bad.
Character's name is Gary King, and that one's the one that's played by Simon Pegg.
I can hear Simon Pegg saying it because I think he said it on the preview. Yeah.
But it's just
All righty. Next quote. This is good garlic bread. Clint again.
Dang it.
That's from Scott Pilgrim.
Okay.
And just for a second myself out. I believe that's Ramona Flowers.
Correct.
Okay. and I don't remember her name that plays it. So that's going to Cam.
Cam, you get the chance to steal.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Yeah,
correct. Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Very good. Cam, you are typing your name first and not typing and trying to hit enter at the same time. Okay, I don't want Clint beating you on a technicality here.
I appreciate you checking.
This doesn't feel rigged at all.
Yeah,
right.
Seriously.
Here we go. Next quote. You're a good driver. You're a bad liar, though. In this business, the moment you catch feelings is the moment you catch a bullet. Did I miss somebody buzzing in the chat?
Nope.
No.
Nobody buzzed in.
Oh, Nate.
Oh, Nate.
That's Baby Driver.
That is Baby Driver.
And I.
Is it a quote from Baby Driver? By Baby Driver?
I don't remember the
driver baby.
Don't remember the
Alec Baldwin,
character
right?
name, but I don't remember the character name.
Does anybody know the character name before Nate says who the actor is? Because I think he knows who the actor is.
I don't know the character name.
No. Am I the only one that likes that movie in here?
I like the movie.
Okay.
I've never seen it.
I love the music in it too. It's
Yeah.
another movie that incorporates the music really well.
It was popular when it came out. People liked it.
Do you know who the actor is that plays the character that says it, Nate?
I want to say it was Kevin Spacey.
No.
Oh, it wasn't Kevin Spacey.
Wow.
No,
That would have been my guess for sure.
No, I'm pretty sure. Well, and maybe I wrote it down wrong, but I had that was Jamie Foxx's character Bats, and maybe I'll need to double check myself.
Wow.
But that's what I had down.
Oh, okay.
Bats.
So I'll need to double check myself.
Wait, his character's name wasn't Motherfucker Jones? I'm just saying.
All right. So you did get 10 points. So you're now on the board, and you don't have Ryan points like Ryan does. All right.
I did the Ramona Flowers one. I just was too slow, and I hit the shift and enter key at the same
time. You like close the tab on accident. All right.
He just disappears.
Here we go. I'm gonna see if I can get through this whole thing.
Oh, wow.
Take car, go to Mum's, kill Phil, grab Liz, go to Winchester, have a nice cold pint, and wait for all of this to blow over. How's that for a slice of fried gold? Cam.
So it's Shaun of the Dead.
Correct.
But it's between the two of them. Either one of them could have said it. So I'm gonna stop there.
Clint wants to steal some of the points.
Was it Sean?
That's correct.
And that was, of course, Simon Pegg.
Correct, yes. Oh, and just for reference, guys, and I forgot to mention this because I was kind of rushing through the stuff about the game. None of the characters are repeated. The movies are repeated, but each character's only got one quote. And I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that earlier, and I meant to, and I totally blanked on that.
That's all right. So no harm, no foul.
That can help y'all out a little bit moving forward.
So to real quick, just to confirm, I think we could have Simon Pegg again, but we couldn't have Sean from Shaun of the Dead.
Correct. Yes, that's exactly correct. Right. No repeat characters. Repeat films and repeat actors, but no repeat characters.
Understood.
Okay. Here we go. Quote number 9. Somebody bring me my board. Clint.
Scott Pilgrim, Lucas Lee, and Chris Evans.
Correct.
Oh, yeah. I remember that part now. Okay.
Right before he grinds 200 miles per hour down the...
Dude,
I liked him so much as a douchebag now compared to 10 years ago. Now that he's been Captain America for so long, like you look
Captain
at it,
America. He's Captain America.
It's a new car. Dude, he's now advertising for the new Ford. But
now that he's not a possibility in the game, I think one of my favorite quotes from Scott Pilgrim is when he's like, "I let him do the close-up shots so I can get blazed back in my winning."
I almost put that one down. I almost put one down as the quote.
God, that one it's like so good.
So good.
It's forgotten because there's so many good lines. I think.
Okay. This is going to be a double point one because it is a tricky one.
Okay.
Your tattoo says hat.
I have no idea.
I don't know. I'm out.
Man.
Ryan, you should just guess if you're going to end up, Damn, I was hoping I could convince him.
Oh, nobody's guessing. That one is from Baby Driver. That one's said by Baby, and that's Ansel Elgort. I don't know
that's right.
Last name. So nobody got that one. Too bad. It was for double points. Man. Okay, next quote. Tell it to the cleaning lady on Monday.
Nice.
Cam.
Oh,
So that's Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Uh-huh.
That's Todd Ingram.
Uh-huh.
That's played by Brandon Roth.
Very good. Exactly correct.
With the big 3 on his shirt.
Well, because she doesn't come in on weekends.
Yes.
And it's Friday today. And then
They're like, what?
that sounds like a response from me, right? Logical answer.
Yeah, just like super logical.
Yeah.
Well, like, I mean, I got it, but nobody else did there apparently.
All right.
But anyway.
So we got 5 quotes left. Clint has slightly over Cam. Clint's got 130. Cam's got 90. Nate's got 10, and Ryan is on brand right now with Ryan.
Ryan, you just need to say Ryan's on brand and move on.
All right, here we go. Quote number 11. Oh, I'm sorry. That was 11. Okay, I'm sorry. So we're through 11 right now. All right. Now this quote, this one is 2 different characters talking, but I'm looking for the main character that both starts and ends the quote conversation I'm about to have. Okay. When's your birthday? 22nd of February. What year? Every year. Get out.
I know. I can see the exchange. I just don't know which one.
Oh, Cameron?
I got it. So that is Hot Fuzz.
Correct.
And that's said by Nicholas Angel, but he's
Very
talking
good.
to the school kid.
Yep.
Because they're checking IDs in that.
Yep.
pub. Yeah.
And that's played by?
Simon Pegg.
Simon
Nice.
Pegg. Very good.
Go.
Okay. So you're up to 120. You are catching up to Clint.
Damn you.
Trying.
All right. Here we go. Quote number 13.
Lucky number 13.
Short answer. Vegans are just better than everyone else. Cam?
So that's Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Uh-huh.
Is it Envy Adams says that?
Envy Adams.
Would you have given him
Brie
points if you said Natalie?
No.
That's her name. Okay, just curious.
No one remembers her real name.
No.
And Brie Larson, obviously.
Very good. Exactly correct. So now you have taken a lead over Clint. Things are getting interesting. It's now 150 to 130. Ryan, you still got a chance.
I knew that answer. I tried.
You did.
You did.
Yeah,
You did.
I knew that answer.
I couldn't
All
think
right.
of the character's name. Anyway.
I was gonna say Natalie in my defense.
You would be the one to
you
say Natalie. All right, we got 2 left. You made me swallow my gum. That's going to be in my digestive tract for 7 years. Clint.
That's Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Uh-huh.
Gideon.
Uh-huh.
John. Why can't I not think of John's last name? Can I just say John? Is that enough?
Sure, it's enough to be wrong because it's Jason Schwartzman.
Jason.
So that's going to be minus 10, so you only earned 10 points for that round. You're at
Can I just say
40.
John?
I couldn't remember his name. Jason. Yes, I know I got the J right. I'll give myself credit on that.
So look, this is very close. So we've got 1 quote left. Cam has 150 and Clint has 140. So it's coming down to this one, guys. Here we go. And it's a short, simple one, so be ready.
Nate, get this.
And also,
I was gonna try to buzz in and just.
well, actually,
fuck
Nate
them
and Ryan, if they buzz in and get it right, then that's gonna let Cam win.
I understand. I just want to just,
All right,
shake it up,
guys.
that's all. It's like when you're playing. It's like when you're playing Hold'em and they draw like almost a straight, and then the last part's like a red 2, and it doesn't matter. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
Here we
straight
go.
in the river.
Yeah.
You've got red on you. Cam.
That is Shaun of the Dead.
Correct.
And I'm going to stop there.
Okay. So that brings you up to 160.
But
So
I could.
can you name the character, Clint? Because if you can name the character and the actor that plays the character, then you will tie and we'll go to a tiebreaker.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think it's Nick Frost's character, but I have no clue.
It is Nick Frost's character, but you had to name the character.
Yeah, but I don't.
It was
let's
Ed.
go It was Ed. I was gonna go hooligan, so I knew that wasn't right.
So after 15 rounds of Whose Line Is It Anyway from the Edgar Wright films, our winner is our guest, the Pretzel King.
Man,
Cam Rendul.
I think last time I was on here, I didn't get a single point, so this is redemption.
This is your redemption song.
You made up for it like boss. Well done. That was a good game, Joey. That was always a good game. I regret not watching. I haven't seen World's End and I haven't seen Baby Driver, but I have seen the others.
Both good movies. If you liked Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead, you'll like
which I have. Right. I need to see those again too, obviously.
Yeah.
So what I got from this podcast is I need to go watch more TV and movies. Thanks.
More
stuff.
Yeah.
What else are you gonna do these days?
Yeah, raise a kid. Screw that.
Oh yeah, kid can raise himself. Raise the kid for
yeah. She knows how to use the potty now. She's fine.
Yeah,
she's fine.
Thank you, Joey, for the game. That's always
that was awesome.
Always entertaining, and it's always nice when our guest comes in and wins. It's a good feeling for all of us.
I'm glad y'all liked it.
So thank you, Cam, for joining us today. Chatting Scott Pilgrim. I know we could probably go hours and hours and hours more talking about this stuff. So we'll have to schedule you in maybe in like 4 or 5 years once your child's
15-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Maybe you can come back and play again though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Well, thank you guys for having me. This was super fun, and it's great to see you guys. And I know times are weird. We probably would have run into each other a couple of times by now. So hopefully those days are ahead of us. So until then, this is a nice substitute.
Totally.
Well, Cam,
well said.
In the meantime, for those in the chat watching or for listening to this, why don't you plug yourself and let us know where we can interact with you online?
Yeah. So in terms of interacting with me, I'm on Twitter all the time, probably an unhealthy amount these days, at Cameron Duel. And then I have a monthly music newsletter called Rations. Been doing it for about 5 years. At the end of every month, I just kind of break down a list of the albums that I thought are really good or interesting. And it used to be about live shows coming through Seattle, not anymore. And then I'm kind of using it as a way to kind of highlight some of the things I've been watching, whether they're new or I'm just getting to them. So it's kind of a pop culture focus. So you can, the link is in my bio on Twitter. But it comes out every month. And then I've been toying with Rations Radio, which Clint and Gary Lee were kind enough to join last week for the whole time. But I've just really missed when I was in college, I was a DJ, and I had a show every week. I kind of missed that, like capping the week off with something really fun and different. So starting to get back into that rhythm. Things are going to get a little busy here in a couple of weeks. So might not get that normalcy going, but it's fun. And I'll let anybody know who's interested when that's coming, either through the newsletter or on Twitter. So just follow along and,
they can go back and listen to previous Ration Radios and the songs you played to this playlist on Spotify, right?
Yeah, so they're all on my Spotify account, and I'll just tweet out the link after, because I get it. Like, I'll typically go for an hour or two on a Sunday morning. I know people are busy. After the broadcast, I'll just link that in Twitter. Here's the playlist. If you want to jump in and listen to a couple of songs, that's cool. If you want to listen to the whole thing, that's fine too. I mean, it's really all about getting exposure for artists who maybe are not the most popular, maybe newer. So I think now more than ever, it's important to highlight those young artists or maybe emerging artists, because they can't tour. It sucks because there are so many creative people who are finding that outlet, but the audiences aren't there to continue to grow. So this is one way to kind of hopefully help. The other thing to point out, this has nothing to do with me, but I discover a lot of music through Bandcamp, and I would recommend going on Bandcamp on Fridays if you have a couple extra dollars and just finding maybe a couple. If you listen to something and you like it, give a couple bucks to that band or that artist, because Bandcamp will give 100% of their proceeds to them on that day only.
That's
so
really cool.
we started doing that a couple months ago. Every Friday they'll do it. So, and that's, release day for a lot of artists. So that's a great time, Friday morning or over the weekends, just jump in and see. If you don't like anything, that's cool, but you might find your next favorite band without realizing it.
Right on. One thing I do want to say about Rations Radio, the most recent one, is it was Scott Pilgrim influenced. There's some from the soundtrack, there's some that was based on it. So it really ties in well with this episode. So I would strongly recommend going back and listening to it, getting, like Cam said, some new music and see what Cam likes and put together. It was really fun to listen to. I hope to make the next one. If not,
yeah,
one in the future. I know you'll be your hands full literally, but I look forward to it either way.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Thank you.
It's awesome.
Cool. So well, Cam, we do our sign off. I think you know that. I'm assuming you already have one. You can be from your old podcast, if you will.
And we'll let you go last.
Yes, you go last. We go in order. We don't all say it at the same time either. Yes.
Just real quick, thank you everyone for joining us on this very surprisingly live episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And we'll be here again next week. We'll have Twitch streams. We'll be doing some games. We've got the Star Wars Celebration Nerds Unite Network happening this week, so keep your eyes out open for that. It's gonna be very cool. You can just follow us on Twitter at _Dorkspin, same as Instagram. We'll be switching over to Podbean this week, away from SoundCloud, so bear with us on that. We're not sure how that's going to go, but we'll let you guys know as we get the episode uploaded. But thank you again, Cam, for joining us this week. With that, that's my secret. I'm always angry.
Freeze! Vegan police!
Word, homies.
Please, no gang signs.
Keep popping.
There it is.